powerful conversations, untold stories, and voices that need to be heard. Join us all month long for special programming that honors the past while inspiring our future. Black History Month on KBLA Talk 1580. Our history, our voices, our time.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. There's something wrong with that.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Hey guys, I'm Heidi Preeb. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. Today on this channel, we're talking about a topic that I am very excited about. And this is the topic of how to build self-trust. I believe that self-trust is at the absolute core of any sort of healing work. Until we believe that we can trust ourselves to do what we said we would do, and to show up for ourselves in a way that is going to make our lives healthier, happier, more expansive, it's going to be really difficult to get any hard self-work done. And so I believe that fostering self-trust needs to be a foundational piece of the attachment healing process. But it can also be a kind of intimidating thing to think about for those of us who have spent a lot of our lives self-abandoning. So if you don't know what I mean when I use that term, I did film a video all about the term self-abandonment. I will link it in the description of this video, and you can go there to check out whether that term applies to you. But most of us who did not grow up securely attached have somewhat of a pattern of self-abandoning in different circumstances, and therefore not being able to trust ourselves to follow through on exactly what it is that we want to do with our lives. In this video, we're going to talk about how to start working towards that follow-through and how to build yourself into a person over time who you can look up to, have respect for, and trust to do what you said you would do for yourself. And for whatever reason, it felt the most intuitive to me to present 5 kind of tools or strategies you could use, first in their inverse form. So we're going to talk about what makes it difficult to trust ourselves, and then we're going to talk about how to do the opposite of that thing. So rather than over-explaining what I mean by that, we'll just dive into number 1. So number 1, it is very hard to trust yourself if you are continuously making promises to yourself that you don't keep. So if you're the kind of person who is constantly making plans for the future that you get really excited about and then do not follow through on, or who is always telling yourself, tomorrow I'm going to start operating differently, what you are doing is continuously breaking the trust of your inner child, right? There's a very young, very innocent part of you that gets really excited every time you make these big plans for your future. And that part of yourself is getting continuously let down every time you get emotionally invested in a plan and then don't follow through on it. Now, there are myriad reasons why someone might do this. Sometimes what we're doing when we make grandiose plans and then fail to follow through on them is that we're actually using the idea of that fantasy future as a means of self-regulating through a difficult moment. So I think that a lot of the time when people have this sense of, I just lack follow through, what's actually going on is that they're using visions of a fantasy future which they never truly intended to work towards as a means of calming themselves down or avoiding some sort of pain in the moment. And that can get really confusing if you're always telling yourself, I'm going to work towards this goal or that goal, and then you're never actually taking action on it. And in this case, it can be helpful to just recognize those were never necessarily plans to begin with. Just like a child whose trust you have continuously broken, you need to have an action plan for winning your own self-trust back. And in order to win your self-trust back, you have to start treating the relationship you have with your inner child the way you would treat a relationship with someone else. Unless you're also very flaky with other people, but you get what I'm saying. Sometimes, when we make a plan with someone else, we want to do that plan in the moment, and then when it gets closer to, we don't want to do it anymore. But we still show up because we said we would. And we want other people to think of us as trustworthy and as people who do what they said they would do, because then those people want to form closer relationships with us. And the same is true of ourselves. Sometimes we make a plan, and as we get closer to that plan, we don't want to do it anymore. But if we care about the relationship we have with ourselves, we need to be following through on the plans that we made with the young, innocent.
Listen, you scared to not do what you say you're going to do, that you changed your mind about because of fear of abandonment. Oh, I don't want this person upset. I can't change my mind. I already agreed to it. They might label me as inconsistent, right? Listen, broken people need consistency. Oh, God, Zoe's crazy. Yep. Fear, I'm trying to tell you, man, fear dictates this whole thing. It dominates everything. I need somebody to be consistent. Why? Because someone in the beginning wasn't. So if I frame it that way, now people mad. Why? Because something happened early in childhood where you felt like one of your primary caregivers inconsistent. So now consistency is a relationship expectation. See, we'd rather have the expectation than heal it. Well, as long as somebody else conforms to this expectation, I'm okay with it. Because this is what I need. This is who I am. No. Why not question the origin of the expectation? Right? You had an inconsistent parent, so your partner has to be consistent in order to make up the slack? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Right? You can't be obedient while at the same time being paranoid. Love, unconditional love, true love is a fearless place. And many of us have learned to survive in a fearful place. Where there is fear, there will be control. Right? The desire to control, the desire to manipulate. Right? Whether it's fear of something happening over again in the past, or fear that it might happen again, or do you see? Breaking the chains. How unchecked fear sabotages self-discipline and spiritual growth. What is the true cost of allowing fear to dictate our actions in both personal, right, intrapersonal, and interpersonal relationships? Right? We got heavy stuff going on. We got our sister on the line, my niece, Attila from Houston, Texas. Attila, you were making a point before we came forward. Please continue, young lady.
Hell, you know I'm not gonna remember it, T.O.
Well, then let me position this to you, because we got in another caller and they requested to be online with you.
Oh Lord Jesus. Okay.
No, wait. Before you say okay, I gotta be fully transparent because I don't want you to be blindsided. Do you want to know who it is?
I already have an idea.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Now Andy is like, who is it? Andy
messy, child. He wanna know all the tea.
Andy said, who is it
got
then?
all the tea, bro. Andy, look. Andy, let me tell you something. If I want to know what's going on at KBLA, you know who I'm going to ask? I'm going to ask Andy. Because Andy's going to have all the tea.
Andy said, who is it then? He said, I low-key do, though. All right, let's do it. She said, okay. Nazarene X from Atlanta, Georgia, has joined the conversation with myself and Attila from Houston, Texas. Nazarene, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
I believe that being willing to consolidate all of the wiggle room is important when we're talking about how our imaginations may run wild with us. So what I heard Attila speaking to earlier, even the proverbial notion of the devil, right? I like to just drill down on that. Because, yeah, it's like, you know, you could be your own devil, yet when two people coming together, the step back or larger scope of it is, in my opinion, just when you bring in your own lens or definitions into unison with someone, that's how I like to drop it on the table. Where I'm like, look, if it ain't but one devil and we coming together, the way my life work is that, well, that devil is only here by permission or got a dip. And what you were speaking to earlier is like, it's still because when you frame those questions a certain way, when you be like, yeah, and when you put it this way, somebody gonna get mad. It's because that quote unquote voice is the quote unquote inner devil, which is nothing but a free lick or a free ride into your higher greatness, if you will. I do understand that's where, you know, you get your shadows, or the other times it's like you might have many demons, but it ain't but one quote unquote devil. If we just gonna rock with that type of train of thought. So it's like you give people space to operate within their own world or imagination reality, but I believe that's what's important in terms of finding alignment, clarity within yourself, and that through line that you can unite with and walk with one another or with a partner.
So wait,
like you give concession.
Let me take what you're saying, because many people, you know, hey man, don't, you know, pathologize. You're your own devil, right? Because people,
they gotta lay off my.
Because people will see it in a negative connotation. They'll see it in a, you know, and I'm saying no. We're here to normalize it. I'm here to normalize you being your own devil. Do you see what I'm saying? They say, no, don't pathologize, you know.
Because you're scared.
You know, pathologize means to view or characterize something or someone as medically or psychologically abnormal. No, everybody is their own devil, and they trying to date an angel. They're looking, do you see what I'm saying? They are looking for a savior from themselves. They want to be exorcised. And they think it's coming from the outside. The exorcism must happen internally. You're your own demon and you're your own exorcist. And all your partner is going to do is mirror it all back to you. Attila, your thoughts?
I mean, I completely agree. Like, I would even draw it back to the word. I'm glad I poured me some Pinot, child. I would draw it back to the word. Because even Christ himself said, none is good. Only God is good.
Ooh, come on,
we still think
Jesus.
we're good people. We still think we're good people.
Come on.
We forget this is Jesus we're talking about, Christ.
Right.
Yahusha. He called a woman a dog.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, in the book of Matthew. In the book of Matthew, come on. Yeah, in the book of Matthew. The girl came to him and said, hey, can you heal my daughter? She is sick. He said, listen, I've only sent to the lost tribe of the house of Israel only, just them. She said, true, but don't the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table? He said, you know what, you're right. As a matter of fact, lady, your daughter is healed as you will. That's what he said.
As you will, right.
Come on.
That belief.
Keep going to bring the church in here, Attila.
I mean, so the last thing I'm going to say before I let y'all go back is I think when we're talking, because I saw another thing in the chat as well about righteousness, right? I think righteousness and piety a lot of times are confused, right? So in order to acknowledge or to become pious, to move into this elevated state, you'd first have to debase yourself, to acknowledge that you're really nothing and everything all at the same time. I say all that to say, by saying that you are your own devil, you're not necessarily saying that you are the devil. You're not evil's incarnate, but you recognize the aspects of evil that are reflected within you. Hence yesterday's topic. That woman was a whole sociopath, laying the game out flat. And I'm listening to it, thinking to myself, like, how many times have I seen that? How many times have I done that? Would I call myself a sociopath? No.
Right.
But I had to be honest and be like, no, I do have some of those characteristics. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. So many people think, and I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna hold you two over, and we're gonna come forward. And you guys are gonna answer. But so many people think that getting what you want is a blessing. So many people think that God is actually blessing you when you are getting what you want. Nobody questions, is my desire for these things short-sighted?
Oh.
Do you see? See, if I'm wounded and I'm manipulative, and instead of me doing the inner work, I manipulate myself into a situation that is conducive to feeding my wounds for as long as possible. Many people think, hey, that's a good thing. And in their mind, they think, man, I'm doing well. God is favoring me. No, God is setting you up. When we come forward, we're going to get Attila and Nazarene X's thought on that.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
They can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary.
On Saturday, February 22nd, you are invited to A Night with the Panthers, a special fundraiser dedicated to supporting Black Panther veterans who now require assistance with essential needs such as medicine, food, and housing. These Black Panther veterans championed human rights, fed the hungry, educated the community, and stood as powerful symbols of resistance and resilience. Despite their incredible sacrifices, loving and serving the people did not come with retirement plans or financial security. So, now it's our time to honor their legacy and ensure that they are cared for with the dignity they deserve. You can help by attending and supporting A Night with the Panthers, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Project 43 Team Post Center, 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles. For more information, contact Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. That's Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at WalkGoodLA. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you You want some more? More. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
We have come by way of the stars, by way of the Nile evermore. We have come, speaking the tongue of the pharaohs descending from such. We have come. In love of the ancestor, the struggle continues. Loving heart, strong sun, firm fist. We are those.
We are evolutionists for justice. People try to front and call us prejudice. I know they know the truth. They call us battlers, the great warriors, systematic radicals who put their hand in the candy dish to pull a mint. Government, taste the thieves' descent. I heard you were a prankster, ultimate gangster, daytime shooter, nighttime shankster, the phone tapper, just a little dapper so you think. My color's blacker than it's pink. Descending from pharaohs who travel the narrows and all of that are such. See me at the crossroad, pimp strut. I'm quite illogical, but never been a savage. Gene scientific, but I never have to map it. I'm harder than the diamond that the eater might steal. I'm never mythical, divinity is real. Mind stays still, ever stable to the end. Nations begin, black watch will defend. So now you raise the flag of the blood race earth. Freedom or death, and death unto birth, we carry on. The soil, crossroad walker, grapevine swinger, the pyramid stalker, making God music in sync with the universe. So here we go again, another brother verse, back into time on the banks of Nile, writing on papyrus, reading the dial, looking to the sky from the city beyond, counting to the 9 cause the mission is on. So not a line connection, reaches degrees.
So some of these processes that you describe feel like effort. And the effort doesn't feel good.
But you see, it always takes effort. And let's talk about why it takes effort. And let's just tell it like it is. Focus is effort because law of attraction will hold you to your dominant vibration. So if I've been beating the drum of I don't have enough money, and I've been noticing evidence of not having enough money, and in my noticing that I don't have enough money, I activate a vibration so it keeps me in that position of not having enough money, then to think about having more money is not as easy as noticing that I don't have enough money. It takes effort to imagine beyond what is. That's really what we're talking about. It's easy. It's like it's easy to turn on the television and watch what they're offering. It's more difficult to think your own thought. It's easy to just hear what someone's saying to you. It's more difficult to guide the conversation in a more positive direction. It's easy to observe. It's more difficult to focus. And yet, there is so much more reward in focusing than there is in just observing. So, most people have trained themselves. You have patterns of thought about money. You have patterns of thought about your body. You have patterns of thought about teachers. You have patterns of thought about government. You have patterns of thought about ecology. You have patterns of thought about medicine. You have patterns of thought about animals. You have patterns of thought about cats. You have patterns of thoughts about dogs. Some of you like dogs and don't like cats. Some of you like cats and don't like dogs. You have patterns of thoughts about all kinds of things. A pattern of thought just meaning a thought that you thought, maybe your mother thought it and she thought it and spoke it and then you thought it and listened and then it doesn't matter where the thought got started, but you've got an active vibration about a lot of different subjects. So, let's say your active vibration about the subject of something that you want improvement in. Let's say your active thought is that we are in the middle of a financial crisis. And let's say that your active thought is that costs are going up and incomes are going down and the government is trying to fix it, but there are so many moving parts that even the best of them are in a state of confusion. And so that's your active thought that you've talked about.
Abraham Hicks, Esther. And I hear what she's trying to say. What she's basically saying is, and when she uses the word vibration, I'll say every thought has its own gravity. Every pattern has its own gravity, right? This attachment that I've talked about as being rooted in suffering, attachment has a gravity. But liberation is like what rockets need in order to leave, right, orbit. It's called escape velocity. You have to build up internally the escape velocity, right, to escape the gravity of the patterns that you modeled in childhood. When you can reach escape velocity, you can get outside of your known. That's where the fear lives. If you were raised in a fearful environment, fear is part of your DNA. It's ingrained in your body, in your mind, in your thought process, in your dreams, in your hopes, in your relationship expectations. But you have to cultivate a psychological escape velocity in order to become the real, authentic, true you. And it's a difficult thing to do. We got callers on the line, and they're on jointly. I asked them a question about getting something. Do you guys have your thought together on this? Attila and Nazarene. Attila is Houston, Texas. Nazarene X is Atlanta, Georgia. Do you guys have your thought together on this? We're going to start with Attila, ladies first, and then we're going to run to Nazarene.
You might have to ask me the question again, because you know how I get.
Do you remember the question, Nazarene?
Yeah, I do.
All right. I'm going to go with you first. Go ahead, Naz.
I believe it's all on how you look at it. It's just, I believe what you're speaking to is that what you think you want and what you need. So sometimes it's like you'll be given permission to fail, and that's still a blessing, right? So sometimes if you get what you want from a more deep, freed space or what have you, from those old patterns or old habits, I believe that that's an echo and reflector, like a residual product of just being rested in peace and clarity in the kingdom and all these other things, self-awareness.
Wait.
Comfort.
You're cooking, but we're right up against it, because I want you to continue cooking. We're going to go back to Nazareth. He's cooking. What I'm trying to give you guys is exactly what was given to Neo by the Oracle, because he didn't know who he was. He didn't know he was the one. You know what she said? She said, listen, Morpheus, you can't tell Morpheus nothing. He believes that you're the one, and he's going to prove it, because in a minute, he's going to give himself up for you. He's going to die, and you're going to have to choose. Sometimes God will give you what you think you want, and you think because you got it that you're being blessed. But sometimes in order to get it, you got to make a sacrifice for it. Oh, you want this? Then give up that. When we come forward, we're going to probe deeper.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. A judge has reinstated President Trump's federal employee buyout plan, ruling unions lacked legal standing to block it. Now, the buyout offer is back on the table for roughly 2 million federal workers. Former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. is again seeking a presidential pardon after Trump pardoned Rod Blagojevich. Speaking in Chicago, he also advocated for others who've served their time. Jackson, who was black, resigned in 2012 and served 30 months for campaign fraud. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is scheduled to meet with Trump's border czar Thursday after federal charges against him were dismissed. His lawyer denies any deal was made. Bronx officials fear the meeting could lead to ICE raids, but Adams insists his record speaks for itself. And rapper Cardi B is blaming President Trump for her ruined designer heels at the big game, saying Secret Service made it hard to get around. She's weighed in on politics before, criticizing Biden but supporting Kamala Harris. I'm Amber Payton on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
FarmSafe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
What you want to do, huh?
KBLA Talk 1580 is thrilled to share that we have been named as a semi-finalist for the coveted American Climate Leadership Awards, honoring our climate work last year. We're also delighted to announce year 2 of our Climate Justice Crusade. This year's $2 million 12-month campaign will link and combat the relationship between climate change and poor health outcomes for African Americans and the poor. Climate inequities have taken a toll with multiple health triggers in the Black community, such as extreme heat and poor air quality, made worse by the recent wildfires. Our work to ensure climate justice and climate equity continues. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be hearing a lot more about our 2025 climate campaign. To learn more about our plans for this year and the companies and organizations supporting us, log on to our website at kbla1580.com. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to.
Yes, the rhythm, the rebel. Without a pause, I'm lowering my level. The hard rhymer, where you never been, I'm in. You want styling? You know it's time again. D, the enemy, telling you to hear it. They praise the music, it's time to play the lyrics. Some say no to the album, the show. Bum rush the sound. I made a year ago. I guess you know. You guess I'm just a radical. Not on sabbatical, yes, to make it critical. The only part of your body should be partying too. Pass the power on the hour from the rebel to you.
Hey, yo, Chuck, man, I don't understand this, man. Yo, you got to slow down, man. You're losing them.
Radio, suckers never play me. All the mix, they just okay me now. Known and grown. When the clock in my zone is known, sneaking and taking everything that the brother owns. My calling card, recorded and ordered. Supporter of Chess and Mart, loud and proud. Kicking live, next poet supreme. Loop but true, bazooka, the scheme. Flavor, a rebel in his own mind. Supporter of my rhyme, designed to scatter a line of suckers who claim I do crime. They are my time, dig it.
Hey, yo, Chuck, they think we take it short. Show them this is Cole Medina, man. Come on, kick it.
Terminator X. Terminator X. Terminator X.
We repeat what we don't repair. You will usually find yourself stuck at a point where the universe brings you to take a decision. Go back and think today. We usually blame the universe on bringing us back to the same situation. But what we fail to realize is that we are not making a change. A pattern or a cycle can only be broken when you choose differently. So how do you break free from this? Today, if you are stuck in a particular pattern, which is called a karmic cycle usually, go back and think that where is it that you were stuck and what did you not choose to change? It can be attachment, it can be leaving something behind, it can be surrendering, it can be anything. Make that change in yourself and you will see that you will be able to break free from that pattern, from that cycle, and your life is going to change.
Just like Neo in the Matrix. He didn't believe that he could be free from the Matrix. And more importantly, he didn't believe that he could be the metaphorical Christ of the movie. That was too much freedom. He had to be put in it. Sometimes God gives you what your wounds want. Do you understand? Hey, Neo, yeah, Morpheus loves you and he believes in you. And he'll do anything. And you're gonna have to choose your life or his. Hey, don't do that. I don't believe I'm the one. Right? So he had to be put in a situation to realize that for most people, what we want is a demand from an unintegrated wound. Do you see? And sometimes you got to get it to realize that you're just repeating a pattern. How many times has somebody come into your life that could elevate your spirits to heights unknown? But because they carry that energy with them and they demand you elevate to a higher level, and I'm not saying through force, that it causes you to recoil and go back to your safety. Even if it's a dirty, toxic, mundane situation. It's your known. It's what you know. How many times have you given up on people that really could change your life if you allowed yourself to embrace the change. We got callers on the line. Attila, Nazarene X, your thoughts?
Yes, sir.
Hey, yo.
I think it was really... Oh, yeah, my bad. Man, you
Stop
got me
reading
excited.
my
I love
mind,
this
bro.
conversation, man. Yeah, go ahead.
What happened?
Go ahead, Queen. You got it. Nah. She's the Oracle over here. Go ahead, Oracle.
No, that is you reading my mind, bro.
Well, go ahead. Y'all so cute together. I love it. Come on. Okay. Attila, give me your thoughts on what is being said here.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. I see multiple sides to this. So in terms of when we're talking about the Most High, to me, he's so high up there we can't even really comprehend that level of love, right? Because that also includes your free will. Like, we're talking about the Most High as if we're like marionettes that he's just like manhandling around. Like, I see it more so along the lines of like a loving parent. And even you described this too, when you were talking about how parents transition as their children age, transition in the way that they teach their children. So it goes from direct direction to more of a guidance, right? So I kind of see the Most High in that same way. It's like, all right, if that's what you want to do, like, you have free will to do that, but we love free will when it doesn't include accountability, right?
Ooh, keep going.
So I'm just saying, like some of this stuff, I feel like we like to be like, where was God? Or why didn't this? Or whatever. Like, we put a lot of the onus on the Most High, or even the devil. You know, people say you give the devil too much credit. I think what they're really saying is, again, you are your own issue. You're your own demon. So, and it sounds so crass. It sounds really, really crass. But I just honestly feel as though we just have to learn how to look at ourselves. And that's it.
All right. Nazarene, your final thought on it?
Love. Squeeze. In the grand scheme of things, and this is why I'm banging on that proverbial architect that really don't know what he's talking about, but he got a part to play too, trying to convince you that the patterns is all you going to actually end up playing out. I believe it's dope how Morpheus' character is an example of how someone else's so-called delusion can even inspire you to realize your most full truth. Or again, just in stride as the journey continues, like consistently Neo was faced with a choice, even to the point where, in witnessing sacrifice of his team or the cause, like, he was convinced. And I believe what shifted in that original context, first of all, shout out to Sophia Stewart, original author. I just like the part where Neo outstretched his arm and said no.
Yeah.
Right? At some point, you are the architect of your own reality. And from there, all the ages, it is what it is. Yet again, we squad. Let's just remember that. Love yourself, we squad.
I love it. I love it. Guess what you two just did?
H-Town over there. Love.
ATL?
Yeah. I love the tandem call. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. This is fire. When I come forward, I'm going to land this plane. Let's get it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, visit taxclosure.org to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on your every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Put a sheet on it. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Put a sheet on it. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Just talk about it.
It's been a long time, I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. Think of how many weak shows you slept through. Time's up, I'm sorry I kept you thinking of this. You keep repeating your miss the rhymes from the microphone solo with. So you sit by the radio, hand on the dial soon. As you hear it, pump up the volume. Dance with the speaker till you hear it blow. Then plug in a headphone, cause here it go. It's a four-letter word when it's heard to control your body to dance. So dot text a tempo like a red alert. Reaches your reflex and let it
Wait. Hold on. See, that's the one everybody know. You know the one they don't know from Eric B. and Rakim? The Rhyme Goes On. From that same album. Like people don't understand the legendary power of Eric B. and Rakim. They don't understand. It's Black History Month.
Knowledge will begin until I finish this song, cause the rhyme gets rougher as the rhyme goes on. You sweat as you step, about to get hype. Or should you just listen to the man on the mic? You're physically in this with me, but how could you tell if it's meant to be hip-hop if you're not mentally as well? Ready to absorb the rhyme that I just poured into the mic, so your night and this won't be so bored. If you just keep kicking, listen to the mix and think you'll sink into the rhyme like quicksand. Holes and controls you till I leave. You fall deeper in the style. It's hard to breathe. The only time I stop is when somebody drop and then bring them to the front, cause my rhyme's the oxygen. Then wave your hand when you're ready. I'll send you into your favorite dance, but let the rhyme continue, and so on. And I'ma go
man,
on.
my playlist is my co-host, man.
Woo! The rhyme remains to be rising to the top, and I came to drop it, catch it and quiz it. It's my topic.
Hi, I'm Anna Runkle, also known as the Crappy Childhood Fairy. And for many of us who grew up with abuse or neglect during childhood, there's this steep learning curve around perception. And by that I mean being able to discern what's true, what's not true, what's my responsibility, and what's not my fault, when I'm in danger, and when maybe I'm just being paranoid. It's common for parents to tell their kids, no, your dad's not drunk, or no, your mom's not acting crazy, or no, no one hit anybody. That was just a dish rack falling off the kitchen counter. And you wanted to believe this, but your whole nervous system was just screaming that you were in danger. And so it's this kind of combination of a blank mind and a freaked out body that puts you in a disconnect. And like all kids, you wanted to get some adult help to get a read on the situation. Like, what is this feeling? Is it really okay? Can the neighbors hear what's going on? Is it possible they're calling the cops on us? Am I supposed to just turn this feeling off? And you know, there are 100 ways that this can happen to you, not necessarily with violence or drunkenness, but with any of the weird, crazy, shameful dynamics a family can have. So the point is, if adults lied about the nature of what was going on, saying it was good and normal when everything in you said it was not good and not normal, this scrambles our powers of perception. We end up teaching ourselves to override our good sense because if it feels dangerous, we think it's probably just us. If we feel hurt, maybe we're just being oversensitive. If we feel ashamed, it's probably because we did something. And so you learn that your perceptions can't be trusted. And over time, you find yourself making these huge irrational mistakes where the red flags were all over the place, but as you were taught, you ignored those signs. You ignored the fact that the new guy you're dating maybe is a little bit controlling, or ignored the vague language a boss used around what you would get paid, or you ignored a gut feeling that you shouldn't walk alone to your car at night. Or sometimes we lose our perception around positive things. We feel just a little bit nervous about a new opportunity, but we confuse that with a gut feeling that there's something wrong with it, and we don't show up. Or we offend people by acting suspicious, or we become afraid to go out anywhere, even out of the house. That is a misperception, and it can get where you think isolation is safety, and sadness is, nausea, and exhaustion is hunger, and hunger is depression, and you don't even know what's going on inside. And then come the crossed wires around what to do with your feelings. When I was younger, and I was interested in a guy, I'd act mean to him. And at the hair cutter, instead of asking for what I wanted, I'd turn into a silent stone right there in the chair, like afraid that if I asked for what I wanted, it would come out as aggressive. And then I worried that the hair cutter would take it out on me by messing up my hair on purpose. It's crazy, right? But I was scared of people and how they saw me. And eventually, I did reteach myself to perceive reality, which is crucial to having any control in your life. So if you struggle with accurate perception, you might want to hear how I did this. First, I took stock as best I could of the areas where my thinking was often distorted. I used to have a really hard time, for example, in a conflict with someone, figuring out what was actually my fault and what was theirs. And this is challenging for everyone, but for people with childhood PTSD, this is a really common trouble spot. I used to think,
man, my crappy childhood, she be killing. But she reminds me she reminds me of Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti says you can't see clearly through the lens of an unindividuated wound, a wound that has not been healed. You can't see through a wounded psychological lens. That lens, that wound will actually contaminate everything you see. Thomas Campbell's work, you guys should go get his book, My Big Toe, suggests that reality is an interconnected field of consciousness where our beliefs and expectations actively shape our experience. From this perspective, if we are trapped in a mindset that sees any departure from the known as a catastrophe, we are likely to remain in a reactive state that perpetuates stress and inhibits genuine connection. Similarly, Krishnamurti's teachings in Freedom from the Known encourages us to let go of our conditioned need for security. He urges that true freedom arises when we dissolve the rigid structures of expectations and learn to engage with life as it unfolds in the moment. In that state, unpredictability is not met with dread, but with openness and curiosity. a hallmark of what might be called unconditional freedom. Now, for me, unconditional freedom is just it's a euphemism for the word unconditional love. And this is why our love is conditioned. It's because we're hurt. And when we got hurt, we created coping mechanisms and conditions in order to survive. You cannot love unconditionally if you're in survival mode. And most people are. Even if they're getting what they want through manipulation. Are you hearing me? Unconditional freedom, then, is not simply the absence of external constraints, but a state of consciousness characterized by a non-toxic, unburdened awareness. It emerges when we liberate ourselves from the fear-based attachments that tie us to a fixed notion of comfort and predictability. Rather than clinging to an illusory state of safety, we become more resilient and adaptive, able to see uncertainty as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat. Thus, while the imagined loss of predictability can catalyze toxic internal dynamics, unconditional freedom represents an aspirational state, a mode of being in which our unconscious remains untouched by fear, allowing us to embrace the fluid, ever-changing nature of existence. Thomas Campbell, fear is not an enemy to be conquered by a signal from your consciousness, an invitation to expand your understanding and evolve beyond the limits of conditioned survival. Most of us are in that state when it comes to our interpersonal relationships. The quality of your consciousness determines the quality of your reality. Fear lowers your energy state and restricts your creative capacity. Love and curiosity set you free. Thomas Campbell. My big toe. Listen, you don't have to agree. It's not a prerequisite that you do. I'm here to question, and I want you to question. I started the conversations. It's really up to you to finish them. I'm the voice of reason. I'll be back here tomorrow, which is my Friday, with another slapper. I hope you guys appreciate my Black History Month hip-hop conscious from the late 80s, early 90s. What else we got to take us out?
Statistical or just very free, but what you say, I take none of it seriously. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you so. I'd let you pretend to read me, and then you'd know. Cause I hate when one attempts to analyze. In fact, I despise those who even try to look into my eyes to see what I am thinking. That dream is over, your yacht is sinking. I tell all of you like I